Welcome to the channel. This is Canadian Gun Reviews. This will be a new channel. Just trying to do some reviews on some of my own guns and some other ones that give a good Canadian perspective of things, as we have a lot of different gun laws than our brothers to the south. But a lot of gun reviews on YouTube are just of American perspectives, and they're good reviews of the guns themselves, but we either have a different version of the gun or different laws that we have to abide by for philosophy of the use of the guns and what we're using them for and how we're using them. So I hope you enjoy the channel. I'm just trying to build it right now, no big deal. This will be my first review of the Kel-Tec SU-16F, which we have here. This will be the main focus of the review. This is a non-restricted, and the only non-restricted version of the Kel-Tec SU-16 that we get. It is classified at designation F. I don't even believe it's on their website. I'm not sure why. I guess it's kind of a combination of a few different versions of their platform. A few options you get with the gun. It is polymer. The receivers are polymer. The forehand's polymer. The buttstock's polymer. Basically, everything that you don't need to be metal is not metal. Everything to operate the gun is, of course, metal, and it works pretty good. It's extremely light, just incredibly light. I believe out of the box, even with the longer 18.5-inch barrel, it still comes in at under 5 pounds. It is a takedown-ish. It's a non-shooting configuration takedown. You just pull this pin out and make sure that there's no mag in here, and it clips in. This can give you backpacking ability, put it in a truck, put it in a side-by-side if you're a rancher, a farmer, and you want to have a 223 that's small, compact, lightweight. This makes it really easy. It is non-shooting in this configuration, but it does not take much to put it back, slap your pin through, slap a mag in it, and you're ready to go. A few other features. Now, I don't have the magazines that came with this particular rifle, but these are 10-round AR pistol magazines. The standard ones that come with the gun do fit in here a little nicer, but these GI aluminum ones fit in there pretty good if you put them in the right sort of configuration. Now, these are AR pistol mags, so I can get 10 rounds out of it, because we are limited to 5 rounds here in Canada. And this allows me to kind of bend that rule a little bit, because this is designed for a pistol, or an AR pistol, whatever. So I can get 10. And it does take AR magazines. As far as I know, it takes all AR magazines. I don't have any issues with the AR magazines that I have. The only thing I have an issue with is that these metal ones seem to slide in and out with some friction. Not bad, they do hold in there really well. And you may not think that these stay in there, but even loaded, they're pretty good. I do have a polymer one here that slides in and out really easily. We'll talk about that later. The front sights is not polymer like the older versions of the gun. It is aluminum. It's your standard M16 front post, I guess. And your rear sight is just your basic rear sight. I have it moved forward because of the scope that I had on the gun when I was at the range. Some other features. I believe the other versions of the gun come with a kind of weird polymer type bolt handle. This is a metal one. It's nice. It's got good grip on it. It is a reciprocating bolt handle. Love it or hate it. I don't mind it. It's not a big deal. gun is clear, so don't worry about that. Takes air mags, folds in half. It is a piston style driven gun, like an AK style piston, and it has an M16 style bolt. So it's kind of a crossbreed between the two, slapped into a polymer receiver. The feature that Kel-Tec gives you is this folding bipod for your forend. It's a little high to use for everyday use. Most of the time, if you're going to use it, you're going to be at a bench anyway. But it's usable. It's there. You don't have to use it. It's just an option. Kel-Tec likes to do kind of some weird things like that, and I like it. I like that they're innovative. They do some cool things. If you don't like it, don't use it. The only thing that I would say that they should have done, although it would have added weight, is keep this barrel thicker. It's nice and thick underneath the handguard, but as soon as you come across your gas block, it drops significantly to become a straight up pencil barrel for the remainder of the barrel. Now, it keeps it light, but it does heat up fast. I do plan at some point taking this front sight off and threading the barrel. When I do that, who knows? But that is a plan. Now, there are some accessories with this that you can get straight from Kel-Tec. They come with some upgraded iron sights. I wouldn't even worry about those. They're not that bad. Most people are going to slap a dot sight on it, or a full-size scope, or even a short-range scope, and that's going to be it. You can get a different forend. You can remove this and put more of an AR style, where you can put some where it has, I believe it has quad rails on it, so you can put your flashlights and you can put your foregrips, stuff like that. What I have seen is people, if they want to mount a flashlight, you want to put a laser, you want to put all that crazy accessories people love to put on their ARs, you can drill a hole and put small Picatinny rails on the side of these, and they fit just fine. One thing that really sucks is that it doesn't have sling points. You have to buy those extra from Kel-Tec. Not sure why, but I guess whatever. Not a big deal. I don't have a sling on it. It's not a necessity, but if you wanted to run a gun with it, a sling is nice. You can change out your stock, your butt stock, to a folding. I think it still is long enough to be non-restricted in Canada to have the folding stock, and it comes in underneath your mag and can still be fired in that configuration. I don't have any use for that. The other stock is you can put a AR style butt stock on it, and it gives you an AR style pistol grip. So if you want to make this your AR variant, and you don't want to pay the non-restricted AR price, you want a 223 carbine that is more an AR style, you get the pistol grip, you put any AR buffer tube stock that you want on it, you can do that. It is expensive if you can find somebody to order it for you, but it gives you that option. I've been thinking about doing it. Maybe I will, just to see what it's like. It kind of looks a little weird, but it's there. It's an option. Again, kind of back to features. The mag release is in a good spot. It's a crossbolt safety. Easy peasy. It's all in good ergonomics. I kind of wish the charging handle was on the other side, but that's just me. Not a big deal. The trigger. The trigger is my biggest gripe with the gun, and it is not the best. It's got a little bit of wiggle, some take up in there, but it's noticeable take up, and it hits a hard stop, so you're not worried that that's going to fire. But once you get there, it's not the worst trigger, and it's not the best trigger. I don't have a trigger scale, but it comes in around 7-8 pounds, and that's not a big deal for keeping a short range. 0 to 200, that's fine. But once you start, if you want to reach out and see how far you can touch with this thing, the trigger is going to become an issue. It's not a modular trigger, so you can't just slap in an AR trigger or anything along those lines. You may be able to do a bit of a trigger job, but I'm not sure how effective it would be. You take it apart, maybe sand some things down, it might smoothen it up a little bit. Other than that, the gun is great. It's reliable as hell. It is in 223 5.56. Now on the receiver, I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but on the receiver, this says SU-16F 223 Remington. It is not chambered in 223. It is chambered in 5.56. Every other SU-16, as far as I know, is chambered in 5.56, and they put 223 on this receiver for the Canadian version only. Now, what does that mean for you? For the average shooter, absolutely nothing. Shoot your 223 in it, you're going to have no issues. And we're not going to get into a 223 versus 5.56 argument. I don't think you're going to notice a difference, but it allows you to be able to shoot both because it's in 5.56. Yeah, it is chambered in 5.56, not 223, but you won't have any issues. It's reliable. It has the piston-driven system. Makes your bolt stays clean. It just works. The bolt is an M16 style bolt, and I'll show you that when we tear it down. But it's just reliable. It's taken everything I've thrown at it, and it shoots good. Let's keep on rolling here. We're going to talk a little bit about accuracy now. My philosophy with this gun, no matter what you do, a scope, a dot sight, iron sights, doesn't matter. It's a shorter range gun. It's a 0 to 200. I'm sure if you really wanted to, you do have the 18.5-inch barrel. You could reach out and touch further. If you really sat down, you really tried, you could do it. I'm not saying the gun can't, but I'm saying it's not really built that way. The effective range, 0 to 200, is going to be your best friend. I was at the range the other day trying to sort of sight it in and see what it was capable of. Not the first time I'd shot it, but the first time I really tried to see what it can do. Now, this is what I had on the rifle at the time. This is just an Amazon cheap scope. They do sell a version of this at Cabela's, and I'm sure it's just as bad, to be honest with you, for triple the price. So if you see these at Cabela's or wherever you shop, it's not that good of a scope. If you want to get one, you can buy a version of it on Amazon for $60-70 tops, maybe even cheaper. Can't remember what I got this for. I think it was in that $60 range, $70 range. It does have a laser. It's kind of neat. It is an illuminated reticle, which the illumination is actually pretty good. Five intensities of red, 5 intensities of green. It's nothing special. It's got a nice windage knob. You come to say hello? This is Mewtwo, guys. Big fan. Kind of a weird thing here. 100, 200, 300, and 400. Dropping the reticle and raising the reticle for your range. I doubt that is actually as accurate as it would be. It's a 2.5 to 10. Again, I bought it just for something to mess around with. It's not the best, okay? So I got on paper at 50, then we moved to 100 meters. And this is, where are we here? This was my first one here. So at 100 meters, at 10 times magnification, this scope really can't handle that. If I dial it back, it clears it up, but at 10, the reticle is clear, but the target starts to get blurry. So I was shooting a few different guns, so we had to mark it out here. Kind of just did this quick, but out of a cold barrel, the first 3 shots I hit with this were right here. These are the first 3 shots I'd taken with this gun at 100 meters. And honestly, that impressed the hell out of me on a cold barrel. It was good, you know, that's MOA shooting. And all I'm shooting with, I don't have them right here. Unprepared. But very basic PMC bronze. About as basic 223 ammo as you can get. 55 grain, full metal jacket, bow tail. You know, really standard stuff, really cheap. You know, for a pack of 20 of these, $8.50 here in Edmonton, Alberta. Good stuff. Now I was shooting my 22250, my Axis, Savage Axis 2. I will be doing a review on that later. I know there's a little bit more people want to know about that gun opposed to this one. But once we started shooting a little more, you know, 10, 15, 20 rounds later, came back, the barrel was hot, and it starts to throw these rounds around. But you know what? Even this, you know, 2 MOA, even if that's stretching, that's still not bad out of a hot barrel. Cold barrel shoots good once it starts to warm up, and it doesn't take much because of how thin this barrel is. It then starts to throw rounds around quite a bit. And then again we came back with the cold barrel up here, let it cool down, come back. Pretty good shooting. I may have thrown this, but I'm going to leave it in there. Even that's not bad. 2 MOA. Come up here. This group was better. You know, 1 MOA, 1 1/4, 1 1/2, 2 MOA here for a 9 shot little thing. So again, it's cold, it's warming up a little bit, and then it's kind of hot. And again, this is still not bad at all. And this is, I didn't have any other ammo to shoot. This is just your basic stuff. This isn't no match grade stuff. I bet I could get even more, especially if I reload and really try. I had some of my own reloads with some better quality projectiles, some match grade stuff, but I didn't shoot it because it wasn't worth it. The scope was not there. Daylight was running out. I just didn't even do it. I did, however, shoot a 10-shot group. And again, we started relatively warm barrel. You know, shot pretty good here. And then it opened up a bit more, and then it opened up a little bit more as it warms up. But even a 10-shot group, I mean, that's what, 3 MOA, 10 consecutive shots. Not trying to, you know, do the best ever. I wasn't shooting from a bench rest. I was shooting from this bipod, and it's not free floated for all you crazy AR free floating people. It's not free floated. This does put pressure on the barrel. Not a lot, but I'm sure there's some, and it may throw some rounds. I did not have bags in the back. It was just me. I consider myself a pretty good shot, but you know, there's definitely way better shooters out there than me. And you know what? I liked it. I was impressed. And if I really try to really lock down, really put a better scope on it, and try to shoot this thing more accurately, I'm sure I can. I'm sure this is a 1 1.5 MOA gun when it comes down to it. The longer barrel helps us compared to other reviews that you see. I'm going to shout out to Nut Fancy, as he loves these guns, and he has a very good reviews on this, and it's the reason watching his reviews are the reason that I bought this gun. Here in Canada, this gun is a better value than in the States, because for, you know, the $700 it cost me to buy this gun. Now that was second hand, but it was practically brand new. They don't go for much more than that, $800-900 tops, and it's a non-restricted 223 carbine. It's in the States, there's so many more options because you can go buy ARs with 30 round clips, 100 round drums, doesn't matter, and you can go to town. You can go buy a Smith & Wesson for, even here I can buy a Smith & Wesson for $700. Smith & Wesson MP15, but it's restricted. So this, for roughly the same price, it's not an AR, but I can take it anywhere I want and shoot it wherever I want. If you want it as an AR variant, as your AR option, something that's not an AR that will do the same job, this is it, man. This is the cheapest solution to go non-restricted. Other solution you can go to Vor, but that's $2,600. Maccabee just came out with their upper lower. You can get an ACR, but I mean you're looking at above $3,000 for stuff like that. This is worth the money. It's light. It's polymer. Yes, if you can get over the fact that it's polymer, you'll love this gun. For a non-restricted option, I don't think there's a better value out there that takes AR magazines. And AR magazines are the only way you're going to get 10 rounds into a rifle in a 223. So to me, it just made sense. I didn't want to spend the crazy amount to get a non-restricted AR, anywhere from $2,500 up to $5,000, and they're not a true AR. They come with, it would be a proprietary upper and lower. Maccabee just sort of came out theirs, and there's a few other versions. And you'd have to build the gun, and if you're into that, all the power to you. But to me, I wanted a gun that was ready to go. Didn't have to blow a ton of money on it. Small fortune just to have a non-restricted AR. Or an AR variant. A platform that shoots 223 effectively. It is polymer, so people are going to say, it's not durable, you're going to break it, something's going to break. You know what, this is tough. I mean, I haven't thrown it around too much, but I would throw it around and I wouldn't have any problems, I don't think. There's lots of other reviews where people, again, not fancy, really does some more running and gunning than I do. But I think you're going to have no issues with polymer breaking and receivers and stuff. People are talking about bolts blowing up through receivers and cracking things like that. I believe there was an issue when they first brought this gun out, but as far as I know, it's been totally revised, and Kel-Tec did a good job of fixing that. This is the only Kel-Tec gun that I actually own, so I'm not trying to praise them by any chance. They didn't give me any money or anything like that. But they make innovations, right? They do things that other gun companies would not do, and they have a great customer service. Fantastic customer service. They're just a good company if you can get around that they make polymer guns. And some people love Kel-Tec. I have had no issues, and some people just despise them and will never reuse them. But they make good stuff. Okay, until I have a product where it is complete failure, I'll keep buying their products. I'll keep supporting them, along with lots of other companies that I have other weapons with. We'll field strip this real quick. If you have a dot sight on it, you're not gonna have a problem. If you keep the iron sights, you're not gonna have a problem. If you were to put a full-size scope on this, with this one, it wasn't bad. I could still field strip it. But if we go to just your standard, is a 3x9, I believe. A full-size scope, I'm gonna have to take the scope off of this. Even if it was back as far as I possibly could do it, I'm still gonna have to take the scope off to do it. So keep that in mind. You don't really need to field strip it that much. Again, it's piston driven, so the bolt's gonna stay pretty clean. You run some bore snakes through it if you're trying to clean it. It's gonna work just fine. Now, it does have a bolt catch. You just push up on this little tab right here on the bottom, and it'll hold your bolt. I think that's all the features. It does have a last shot hold open to go along with that, so we'll field strip it real quick, see if I can do this, because sometimes it can be kind of a pain, other times it goes really easy. You just sort of got to learn it. So all you do is you rotate this. This will slide back. Drop this. and just lift it a little bit. Pull your bolt handle out, and then your entire bolt assembly slides right down. So hopefully you can see this on camera, but this is an AR style bolt, M16 style bolt, and it works. It just works really well. Stays clean, like I said. The piston system really keeps it clean, and that's about it. I mean, it doesn't have quick off barrels or anything like that. If you really want to, you can take the forend off, but it's not the easiest thing to do. If you pop this screw, you can take your trigger assembly and the rear stock off, but honestly you don't need to do that. And then quickly reassemble. Make sure that this little tab is vertical and your bolt is slidden forward. Again, sometimes this is where things get a little tear this gun apart very much, but it's got to be perfect going back together. You really got to make sure you push up on the bolt so it really slides into the proper piece, and then it goes forward just fine. That's where you're gonna have issues, and that's where I have issues every time I tear this gun apart. You got to make sure that you push that bolt up so that tab gets into the proper rail, or it's never gonna slide forward. But once you get it so it slides forward, you just pull your casing over the piston back and turn it, and it slides right into this little notch. And that's it. You're back in business. That's pretty much it. I think I hit all my points. The track record of this gun. Some people are going to tell you it's terrible. Some people are going to tell you it's awesome. So far, I've had no issues. It's reliable. No, it doesn't have a military backing like some guns do. But you know what? Until there's some serious issues with these things, it just works, right? Get out there. If you have one, shoot a whole bunch, and you'll see that they work. There's no real issues with them. They're really light, so you may notice compared to your heavier 223 that it might recoil a little bit more. Like I said, I do plan on threading the barrel. Maybe put a muzzle brake on it, and we'll see. Maybe I won't. Maybe I will. But it's 223. It doesn't kick that hard. It's pretty good. It's just light, so it becomes a little bit harder to shoot because it is recoiling a little bit further. I told you I'd get back to these. These are Fab Defense. They're just really cheap, actually. I think I paid, $40 for both of these, and they are 10 rounders, but they clip together, so it's an easy way to have 10 rounds, and be able to swap quick to get a bigger mag capacity out of them. Then I keep 2 10-rounders in the butt. You know what? It's a good gun. I hope you guys like the review. I did not have a chance to get any range footage. I will probably do a follow-up review, maybe do some range footage. I do plan on doing a review on my Axis 2, which is in 22250. Okay, something I forgot, that this will be edited in a quick little thing, and I will be linking the original video in the description. I did a modification. For any of you that have this gun, you know how this bipod can sometimes be a pain, and it doesn't come out the easiest. Well, now it just works, right? Now what I did was I took an AR braided mainspring, and you can see, and you'll see in the video, it's wrapped right around the gas block, comes up here, and now I drilled the holes. I need to trim this one down, as you might have seen throughout the video, but now this flips out really nice, comes really back far. Now it is kind of a hard modification to do, and I had to do a little bit further, as when I did this, I noticed that when I put this spreading spring back in, what it did was it pushed the side of these into the barrel, so it would spring out and then stop and then stop, and it would catch. There was so much friction on that barrel. So there's a little tab here. What I did was I just took a really sharp blade and I just shimmed it so it looked all the way down to the corner, and now there's no issues. It's just like in his video. I will link it in the description. If you have any questions about it, let me know. I don't know if he's still active or anything like that. I think the video is pretty old. Let me know, but that's my only modification to the gun, and it works really well. But if you like this video, if you want to see more, like, subscribe, tell me what you want to see. If there's certain points I didn't hit that you'd want to know about, let me know. Help me build the channel, and we'll have lots of good Canadian gun reviews.